to the Center Court MBA Festival in New York, and of course New York, one of the world's great cities, with people from all over the world. And actually that's very often where business school fits in for individuals that have looked beyond their background, and how the MBA gives them that international opportunity. I'm delighted to be welcomed by Dominic Rasini, an Australian who came over to study at Rochester at the Simon School. Dominic, thanks very much for being with us. Tell us a little bit about that leap of faith, and when you said to yourself, I'm going to go for business school and I'm going to travel thousands of miles for that experience.
Certainly, I feel that I was a fairly atypical case in terms of applications, and was originally applying to a lot of European and UK-based schools. But the University of Rochester reached out to me after I did my GMAT exam and offered me an opportunity to submit an application for free, which is at $350 an application.
Sure.
You're never going to pass that up.
That paid for your GMAT right there.
Exactly. And really by that time I was starting to feel that you need to have a lot of confidence in yourself, and that leap of faith really is in your own ability to undertake something that is about professional growth, which is one of the best investments you can make. And I was pretty committed from that point on to making sure that I did what was necessary for me.
What obviously the GMAT was solid enough, but what do you think Rochester had seen in you? What were sort of the accomplishments in your background that you were shared with the school?
Well, I came to Rochester with a lot more experience than your average candidate. I'd been working for the better part of 10 years when I was applying for business school. So there was a depth of professional experience there, mainly in healthcare operations, and a lot of different roles bouncing around between public health to looking at surgical wait times and doctor fatigue. And I think that what Rochester probably saw was someone who was willing to get involved in a bunch of different things, take a real jump into a problem and try and solve it, and a level of confidence that if you give me enough time, I'll be a person who can really add some value to what you're experiencing. I definitely feel as though I was rewarded by the school. Right. From that experience.
And since graduating from the school, you built a very successful career with Deloitte. How do you think the MBA then helped you to make that transition, and the sort of skill sets that you're now using in your position with Deloitte?
I think that the reputation of the school is a very analytical school. It's focused on the use of data to inform decision making. Has been around for quite some time, and recently, and I know it's been on Pods and Quants, that the school's been awarded a STEM designation for its course. Yeah. Now that STEM designation is new, but the courses that I was taking, I don't think they've changed very much. It's kept that academic rigor. So working at Deloitte, I work in strategy and analytics. So it's it's a hand in glove fit for what I do now. That their academic focus on the use of data, an understanding of a business problem, and shaping that business problem in a way that can be either answered with data or supported with data. That skill in particular, I think, has been integral to my career so far at Deloitte. And it's one that I'm incredibly thankful for the school for providing me.
Right, and sharpening, in a world of big data, and sharpening those analytical skills. As you then think about, classmates when you first applied, they'd talk about, nationalities, backgrounds that they had. But as you think back to your classmates, what was a sort of a common characteristic to all of them, perhaps not on a very human level?
I would say that the one consistent theme for me from all my classmates is a curiosity. I think that business schools, by their nature, enable curious minds to look at new ways of addressing both old and new problems. And one thing that was incredibly consistent with my classmates was their intellectual curiosity for particular problem types, the use of frameworks and models and the skill sets that are required to solve those problems. And without that curiosity, I think it would have been more of a drab experience. But thankfully, because of that characteristic, because of that intellectual curiosity, every day was quite exciting. It can lead to some intense conversations and disagreements between people, but I think that in a safe environment like business school, that's where you need to carve out those skills, and that's where you need to appreciate what everyone can bring, and curiosity is a key part of that.
Right. And given that curiosity and perhaps where that's taken your classmates in their careers, how do you now stay in touch and that continues to support one another as MBA graduates from Simon?
I think that being in New York, obviously, we have a very large alumni base in the city. So it's fairly easy for me to stay in touch with the local population. But the people that I was closest to at school, some of them are scattered throughout the country. Some of them are based internationally now.
Right.
So we do really look for any opportunity to get together. There's a few weddings being planned.
Right.
One of the things that also brings us together is a mutual and common focus on the school. Even as grads 5 years out, we're all alumni of the school. We all have an interest, a persistent interest in making sure that the school is doing well and benefiting from whatever we can do to help it. So I try to be as generous as I can with my time. I know that there are a number of other people who are as well, and it's normally quite fortuitous when we find ourselves at the same types of events that the school has run. And we're always happy to help out because we're incredibly appreciative of what the school's provided for us.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about giving time, and it's great that you can be with us. Thanks for sharing this interview and your perspectives.
My pleasure.
With Dominic and of course with other successful alumni from the top business schools. We'll hope that you'll look out for the other interviews on the Poets and Quants channel. So thanks very much for being with us. Thanks, Dominic.
Thank you, Matt.
That's great.